On First Word this morning, we're going to prepare you for what to expect from the budget. Hira is going to lay out the 5 most important numbers that you should be looking out for. I will make the argument for and against a cut in the corporate tax rate. Neeraj will talk about what markets are expecting. And very soon, Darshan will join us on the key sectoral impact that could potentially arise out of this budget, especially if the finance minister does, as expected, focus on the agri, rural and SME sectors, the companies that could benefit from those additional spend. So let's kick it off first with Ira, the 5 most important numbers that we should be watching out for, Ira.
All right, guys, I know you're tired of hearing me talk about them.
No, we're not.
But as the song says, one last time. So we will go through some of these numbers one last time. The big numbers to watch, just to give you an overview of everything we've been talking about for the past month and everything we'll be talking about through the day today. The magic number is 3%. That number, of course, denotes the fiscal deficit target, which we will not probably reach, not even this year. 3% is the FRBM target. It was for FY18. It got pushed out by a year to FY19. Most brokerages are expecting that even in FY19 you will not manage to hit 3%. So the expectation, what is built into the market, is that you will get something close to 3.2%. If you get 3.2%, steady state compared to the budget estimate of last year, that is FY18, and perhaps the markets would not react. If you get anything more than 3.2%, there could be still upside in bond yields to be had. But if you get a 3% number, bond markets will be very, very surprised, and you would see a significant rally in bond prices. Now, guys, just stay with this chart for a second, because, we spoke to Arun Subramaniam after he put out his economic survey, and he said, why attach this importance to one number? What is 3%? Well, it's all well and good to say what is 3%, but, that 3% number has been put in every FRBM report that we have had. It was there in the first, it was there in the second, it's there in the NK Singh committee report. Yes, it's a construct that has been borrowed from the Western world, so maybe it's not a great idea to just, sort of lift and drop it into the Indian scenario. But that's what your individual committees have said as well. So it is a matter of credibility. And if you, don't believe in a 3% number, then let's throw it out of the window. That's not a serious suggestion, because if you throw it out of the window today, the markets will be worried. But, we've had a long road, from 4.4% in FY14. The government has done a lot to consolidate fiscally. So let's give them credit there. But perhaps they should continue with that and at least try and hit 3.2%. And then tell us what they really intend to do with the fisc from here on. So big number, 3%, that's one number to watch. What else are we watching out for? The borrowings number, as a consequence of the fiscal deficit, there will be a fairly substantial market borrowing. Bloomberg poll suggested that number would be about 6.5 lakh crore in terms of gross borrowings. If it's lower than that, and if the government suggests that they're going to borrow more from, say, the National Small Savings Fund, or they're going to raise more non-tax resources and hence limit their market borrowings, that'll be good news. Unlikely that you'll get a gross borrowing number substantially higher than that. Work on the gross number first and then on the net borrowing number, because the net borrowing number always gets distorted by a number of things. So that's one important number to watch. At 6.5 lakh crore, you will be higher than the revised estimate of FY18, which settled at about 6 lakh crore. So those are the two big numbers on fiscal deficit and on borrowings. Watch for the capital expenditure number. Last year, when the finance minister was presenting the budget speech, he said that I'm budgeting for a 25% increase in capital spending, because I think the economy needs support. Does the government feel it can continue that in FY19, or is it ready to hand over the baton to the private sector? So watch for the increase that they budget for in capital spending. Also, if they do more capital spending, then your quality of fiscal consolidation also continues to improve, which, let's give it to the government, they have done a fair amount on. Those are the headline numbers. Some individual scheme numbers you want to watch for. These are the 4 key rural schemes. I want to point out the employment, the Manrega scheme. You had 48,000 crore last year. That was a record high already. During the course of the year, you added another 3,500 through the supplementary demand for grants. So you're already at about 52,000. There's some talk of a 60,000 crore number for Manrega. If they do that, they're trying to support the rural economy in the eventuality that agriculture doesn't provide you enough employment opportunities. Awas Yojana, rural, there are two parts to it. There is a rural, the Grameen, and the overall Awas Yojana. The Grameen Yojana had 23,000 crore. Given the focus on affordable housing, there should be an increase in spend there. The rural roads program, 19,000 crore, perhaps there'll be an increase in spend there. And then the Gram Jyoti Yojana, which is the electrification scheme, is also a focus. So if you put those four numbers together, while not the overall rural spend, but you'll get a sense of how much they're increasing spend across some of these key rural headline schemes. Infrastructure, again, important to see what next year's number looks like. The FY 18 budget estimate was about 3.9 lakh crore. Within that was the rail, the roads, etc. So see what they're doing in terms of increasing that spend as well. That in sum total, guys, will give you a sense of where the budget priorities lie and what the economy will look like in the next year, perhaps.